Leigh Brown. And this is Crazy Shit in Real Estate. And today we actually have a Stockholm Syndrome story, which we have not had before. So enjoy this conversation with Lisa Scott, and I'll see you on the other side.
See, there you go. I was already listening to myself earlier.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
You've got your fancy tank top on today.
I know. I wore it just for you.
Aww. Obviously, my people.
Right?
Oh my gosh. So what is going on in your part of the world, sister?
Oh my gosh. So I'm just so happy that we have like warmer weather that we can wear the tank tops now.
I
But
know,
we're
I
going to
need
be
a
back down
tan.
into the. Yeah, same. My husband was yelling at me the other day. I was wearing shorts. He's like, "Oh my God, you're a ghost." It's
Listen, I told mine, I'm like, I'm a nicer person when I'm tan. He's like, I know. Your husband understands too, I bet. Also knows why we don't wear sunscreen because it causes skin cancer. Hello.
Exactly. Yes.
Are we the only ones
All
who do
these
research? Because, like, I feel like the crazy person, and then I find more and more research, and then I talk to more and more people who do research. I'm like, girl.
You just start finding your tribe. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's honestly the one good thing about the COVID era is I definitely know who my tribe is.
Absolutely right.
Mhm. All right. So, actually, well, tell my audience who is Lisa Scott. Obviously, you put your state in your little Zoom profile. Well played. But tell them what
Yes.
part of the world you do real estate in, how long you've been doing it. Give them some of the picture of you.
Oh, sure. So, been in real estate almost 3 years now. I'm in Northeast Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, licensed in both. So yeah, just I got my Virginia license in December. Written a few contracts, had the buyers back out due to inspection, so I haven't closed a deal there yet, but I'm working on it. So,
Well,
but yeah,
sometimes
I mean,
it's better they don't buy sometimes.
exactly right. I'm not going to let somebody buy something that has foundation issues. So,
That's right. So, what did you do prior to real estate? What drew you into this business?
well, I mean, it was like 10 years property management. And I got to the point, and yeah, around the COVID time, I'm like, I'm tired of evicting people and making them unhappy. I want to be on the let's get people into their homes and be a part of the happy part of it, right? So, yeah, still in property management until 2022. And then, I'm just like, oh, yeah, hey, if I can't sell a house in this market, then I shouldn't be in real estate. Well, guess what? As soon as I finally got my license, interest rates went up to like 5.5%, and things were starting to slow down. So, but I mean, I've still done fairly well. Last year, I'm with Century 21 Legacy here in Northeast Tennessee in Kingsport, but I was like the number 86 agent out of all Century 21 in Tennessee. So, still chugging along even with the higher interest rates. So,
Well, what's funny now is that we look at April of 2022 when it did go from 3 to 4, and then 4 to 5 in May, 5 to 6 in June, and it started this huge ladder up. But you look back now and you're like, y'all should have been happy when it went up to 4 and when it went up to 5, because now that we're 6s as of the day of recording this, of course, it's a whole
yeah.
different ballgame, but it's all perspective because the people that bought in 2022 are still pretty glad in my area that they went ahead and bought in 22. Same for you?
Same, absolutely. We've got so many people sitting on like the lower interest rates. Nobody's really wanting to sell, obviously. So,
And I don't blame them unless they see something great come on the market. But the great houses aren't really coming on the market a lot because we see a lot of the ones come on have inspection issues or
mhm,
sit on the main drag or something's going on. And it'll be nice to see some of the pretty houses come back, but that's
right.
the market ebbs and flows. So
Exactly.
when you got into the business of property management, that's, I think, the hardest angle of real estate of all of them because it is,
Yeah.
you can have 50 great tenants who pay on time and don't cause any ruckus. And then you have 2 that are on the phone and text every single minute with problems that homes
Mhm.
they created. They don't pay, and you spend all your time on those high headache people, and it's a low margin part of real estate too. Because if you're not managing a lot of properties, it's very hard to make a living, and you have to have serious organizational skills and system skills. In the property management side, I'm curious to know what you think people should know before they get into that side of the business. What kind of character traits should they have before they do property management?
Well, I mean, in real estate, everyone says you have to have thick skin. Property management, definitely thicker because you're going to hear every sob story in the world. There's one tenant, oh, I can't pay my rent. I've been in the hospital. And then I see her driving through the parking lot. Like, come on, lady.
Okay, there, you're right. I see.
I'm like, I literally see you right now. know? So, and obviously, people don't mind lying. So I've had people, they've come in and rent for somebody else who then starts occupying. And that's no fun because technically they're not on the lease, but they've established residency, right? So,
But
I
wait
mean,
a
it
minute,
was a whole different,
but
yeah,
that's fraud.
it
So,
is, isn't
the
it?
fact that it's fraudulent doesn't outrank their residency, so essentially they're squatters if it's a fraudulent lease. So even
In theory. Yeah. So, and I mean, and this was in San Antonio. So, I mean, Texas, whole different story. But yeah, it was just extra steps you'd have to go through and prove that this one specific person and get their actual identity was living there. And yeah, just no fun. So I'm just like, I don't want to be in that anymore. So,
well, and the laws are different state by state, which is one thing I definitely see in North Carolina is when California investors move their money here because they would much prefer to be under our laws of landlord tenant. They're shocked and surprised that the tenants don't hold all the cards, which they hold all the cards in California, but it sounds like they hold
yes.
more in Texas than they do here.
Yeah. So, but that was a long time ago. I was in Texas. We went from Texas to New Hampshire, spent 2 very cold years in New Hampshire, and, like, "Nope, we gotta get back down south," but I wasn't going back to the Texas heat, so settled in Tennessee. So,
So, did you do real estate in New Hampshire?
no, no, I was still in
Okay.
property management there, yeah.
Okay, so you don't count property management as real estate? That's kinda hilarious because it is.
Yeah, it is, but I didn't have to be specially licensed, so
I mean, on behalf of all the property managers out there who I can feel them getting their fingers warmed up for the
yes.
keyboard to be like, "We're
Right.
real estate too." I know, boo. I know. I got your back. I got your back.
Right, yep,
Thanks for
yep.
Lisa knows. Property management is real estate. It's just the high headache part of real estate. But that's hilarious. You did
Yes.
it for 10 years and you're like, I mean, it wasn't really
It was, but, I didn't need my license, so I figure, it's like a doctor.
So
You need
Texas
your
doesn't
license to practice
require a
medicine.
license for property management? Because North Carolina
Not
does.
yeah, not where I was.
Does
So,
Tennessee
and that's
require
actually
one?
so that's how I got into real estate in Tennessee too, was because we decided, hey, we're going to move to Tennessee. Let me start looking for jobs. All the jobs on Indeed said real estate license required for property management. So I'm like, okay, let me get my license. And then we get here and, so we just rent an apartment at first. And the gal's like, nope, you don't need that. I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. So
Well, I guess if you're in an apartment, you're really a leasing agent as opposed to
true.
property management working for the landlord and the tenant too. So I guess it's a fine line there. But anyway, you worked
Fine line.
in
Yeah.
normal real estate 3 years ago. So what was the hardest part of the transition from property management side to sales side?
I mean, really, the hardest part was probably rather than people coming to me, I have to go and find the people,
Oh, that's a good point.
you know? So, I mean, yeah, you get all your company generated leads and all that stuff. But I mean, they're just like, well, I'm interested, but maybe in a year. If I want somebody who wants to do something now, I got to go get them.
So that was definitely a transition in style. So how did you go about being in a newer area? Because you'd been in New Hampshire and Texas prior, so you didn't
Mhm.
have a huge base of people. How did you go about finding people to work with?
I just started getting involved in church. That was the main reason why we chose Kingsport. When we said we were moving, we started researching churches on YouTube and we found our church and we said, that's where we're going. So we
Oh,
based
and so
everything around the church.
you didn't just land in Kingsport and then go looking at churches. You hunted for good preaching and churches online and then
Yes,
landed where the
ma'am.
church was.
Yes,
I wonder how many people have done that because I think that's probably fairly uncommon.
I think so too. So, but the funny thing is, half our church is transplants. So, like our life group, 75% Californians.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's just coming
So,
to Tennessee. Hang on.
yeah.
I just listened to a Tucker Carlson show episode. Let's see what that fella's name was. Andrew Isker. Do you know who he is? He's building
No.
a community in Tennessee with he built the church in the center of it. He's the pastor and they've got big acreage parcels and they're building this whole
Cool.
little town. I don't remember where it's at in Tennessee though. I listened, but I've got to go remember where in Tennessee it was. But anyway, so
Yeah.
he feels like people are going to follow to live in community based on the church, which is
Hmm.
very 1800s American pioneer style.
Right?
Hmm.
So, I don't know, I'll have to look that up too, because yeah, I hadn't heard that one yet, so
Well, it was just an episode from a couple of days ago, and for y'all who were listening and watching, we recorded this the first week of April in 20 and 25, and I don't know what day it's gonna air, but whenever it does, now y'all know when to go figure out which Tucker Carlson
right.
I was looking at. Alright, so anyway, you land in Kingsport, you find a wonderful
Mhm.
community because Kingsport is a really great area. You
Yeah.
jump into real estate. Tell us what the process was like when you're not a Tennessee native and you're not native to real estate. Was it hard to
Yeah.
get people to use you, or did they trust you because you were meeting them at a place where you had something in common?
Well, I think a hard part was, I mean, everybody and their mama's a realtor, right? So there's like 10 realtors in our church as it is now. But yeah, it was I joined a team at first because I'm like, I don't know anybody here, and there's only like 300 people at church. So statistically, maybe 3 of them would sell their house in a year, right?
Right.
So, so I joined a team, started getting some team leads, and really it was just building that confidence of getting to know the contract and knowing what I'm saying and just sounding confident when I was dealing with people. I started the business Facebook page, the business Instagram page, all that just to try and get my name out there. Trying to do just engage mostly on Facebook. I joined all the crazy Karen community groups and everyone's everyone complains about how bad yeah. But everyone complains about how bad Kingsport smells because we are an industrial town. And I'm like, "Oh, well, hey, I'll help you move out, Well, let's get you in Johnson City or something,
Is that really how you
So,
responded to those little grumpy posts? You're like, "If you hate it so much, I'll help you move."
I'll help you move. Yeah. We'll get somebody in here who wants to be here. So,
I mean, truly, like, I love where I live, and I'm always amazed when that I get fussed at for that by a certain elected official who says greedy realtors have ruined the area. And I said to this elected official, no, we really like it. Do you want us to run around and say how bad it is? Because
right?
I think it's good for me to be a person who advocates for this community. It's the strangest concept ever, but I want to live where I love to live.
Exactly.
That doesn't seem controversial
You know, like
like
you
everything
should
else.
enjoy where you live. Yeah.
So if you're in real estate and you're listening to this podcast or watching it and thinking, man, I need some more Leigh Brown answers in my life. Well, guess what, friends? I have a new program that is launching right now called Answers.Real Estate. where I will give you every bit of insight I have to help you grow your real estate business, help you better respond to consumers, to provide a more excellent real estate experience so that the next time you land on crazy shit in real estate, you'll have a better solution to whatever you ran into. Answers Real Estate. There are monthly plans available. You will love it. Get your coaching. Sign up with me today. Okay, so you got into the business, you got on a team, you found a
Yep.
church home, and you've sold houses. And we know that
Yep.
the statistic that's holding up, and it's actually getting more extreme, but in the last 12 months, it's estimated that 70% of Realtor members, so not counting the licensees who don't belong to the trade association, but 70% sold between 0 and 1 houses, which means they either sold a house or they had a team member to sell it with them, and that's it. That's 70%. That's
Yeah.
way more than half. You've obviously overachieved that while being a newcomer in town, while being relatively early in your real estate career. And you leaned on something at the very first sentence you said about being on that team is it gave you confidence. And I don't know that we talk about that enough in real estate and how important it is to believe in the area you're selling, which you're doing on Facebook, and to believe in the product that you sell, because obviously you believe in housing, but to also believe that you can do this. So I always wonder how much of that 70% has just no confidence at all. They just think they suck and they expect that nobody's going to use them. And then, well, that's maybe why nobody's using you.
I mean, probably, you know, because, everyone always says, oh, well, it's the largest transaction you'll ever have in your life. Well, do you want somebody who's kind of stammering over every sentence, and not really understanding how to explain, hey, this is your inspection period and this is, your earnest money deposit and things like that? Like, you need to know what you're talking about, or else, yeah, people probably won't use you. So,
And for anybody out there who's early in your real estate career, I agree with Lisa that getting on a team is one of the best ways to go, because then you have somebody within a short leash that can answer your questions, but also give you the systems and give you the closing gifts and give you some guidance. Whereas you might find a broker who can teach you those things from scratch, but generally the broker's way of teaching you is there's a desk and a telephone, call everybody in your
mhm.
phone and let me know if you need me. And a great broker will totally be available. But the thing is, the system that comes in with the team is that they know all the things to do and give you more structure, because there's very little structure in real estate, which is hard for
Oh, yeah.
a new person to lean into. Now, that being said, you are in your third year, finishing your third year.
Finishing my third year, yes.
So heading
So,
into year 4, I'm
mhm.
dying to know, 4 years in, you've sold some houses in a wonderful part of Tennessee, and almost you sold some in Virginia, but not yet, but it's
Yep,
coming.
not yet.
My listeners wanna know, what's the
Mhm.
craziest thing you've encountered? What's the big story that you tell when you're like, "Y'all are never gonna believe this."
Okay, so, my crazy shit in real estate story, it's hilarious. I call it my Stockholm syndrome story. So, um, when I was back on the team, I'm maybe 6 months in, right? And we had ISAs there, and the ISA
Hang on,
Preston.
for the
Mm,
consumer listener, that's an inside sales agent. That's the person answering the phone.
yes, ma'am. So so he was really great matching the agent with the leads coming in.
Oh.
So we got this Glenn Beck lead, and it was for like $2 million price point.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll take it. I mean, mind you, and about teams, you not only have your company split, you got your team split and all that. So honestly, on like a $2 million sale, I would have walked away with like $10,000. But anyway, so couple months I'm talking to this lead. They're out of state. They're in Colorado, trying to just build the relationship, right? And they're like, "Hey, we're going to go on our exploration trip. We're coming out to Tennessee. Let's go look at some houses." Well, so Dave, the husband, he's about ready to retire. He's in finance, all that fun stuff. So they're like, we want the lake house. We want to be on the lake. That's the retirement dream, right? So I send them a couple houses in our area for lake houses. They come in, we look at those. Not the right fit. Had not been updated since the 80s. Still brown panel on the dishwasher.
Oh, dishwasher, always a classic one.
Right. But then they're like, okay, well, we want to go look at this other house on Cherokee Lake, which is about an hour, hour and a half away, right? They're like, just pile in with us. We don't need to be following each other and we'll go grab lunch afterwards. I'm like, okay, sure. Real estate, let's get in cars with strangers, right?
All the time.
So mind you, we're driving out there and Dave's mom is in Michigan. She's trying to buy a house in Charlotte. Okay, because that's where Dave's sister lives. So they're kind of negotiating an off-market deal as we're driving looking for Dave and Joanna for Dave's mom out in Charlotte. So we get to the lake house in Jefferson City. Everything's fine. And they really didn't like that house. We go out to lunch and it came back that Dave's getting phone calls from the realtor in Charlotte. We need a $50,000 earnest money to hold this house for you before we go on market tomorrow. Okay. Dave's got a ton of money. He's on the phone. He's trying to transfer the money, all this fun stuff. We finally leave lunch. Money isn't getting wired. There's something wrong with the person he's talking to in the office or something. Like they cannot transfer the $50,000. He's starting to get furious. He's starting to yell. And by the way, I got permission from him to tell this story. Okay. He's starting to yell at people on the phone. And he's like, fine, I'll just find a branch and go there and do it myself. Right. Well, nearest branch was like 2 hours away. And I'm in the back seat of their rental car.
Oh, they're not
It
really
is,
2 hours away.
yes. And it is like 2:30 in the afternoon. And we need to wire this money before 5. And they're like, you're along for the ride. So
That is
we,
not cool, Dave. Not cool, Dave.
right? Not cool.
Not cool.
So like Dave starts speeding down the road. And I'm sitting in the back and I'm like, school zone, slow down. So he's flying to this bank and he's on the phone with, executives and everything in his company and the one gal who was supposed to be handling the money transfer, and things just weren't going well. So I'm in the back seat texting my husband and I'm like, I don't know when I'm gonna be home. Cause you know, I'm like, these people that I literally just met in person today have changed the plan on me. And, so
And I'm in their
I'm just
car.
going back. I'm in the back of their car and I don't know when I'm coming home. And but anyway, so finally we get back to like Johnson City. It's 4:30 and all of a sudden we get the message, oh, we got the money transferred. Don't worry, it's okay. You don't need to go to an actual branch. Everything was fine. so, so I actually got to go home that day. But it turned into a running joke that, oh my God, they kidnapped me and all this.
I mean, is this why people don't want to ride around with us? But I have never in my life taken somebody 2 hours away to make them do a deposit. So, I'd rather ride with a realtor who tries to get rid of me.
But yeah, these people, they've turned out to be our best friends. It's hilarious. Like Dave texts my husband like every day. I left that team. So unfortunately, I had to say, okay, Dave and Joanna, you're not my clients anymore. You're officially, under representation with that broker because I switched brokerages. But we stayed in contact. They finally bought a house on the lake over a year ago, and it's just been being renovated. And now they're finally moving this week from Colorado.
Oh,
And so my husband's like, I'm going to cook you dinner when you guys get here. I'm going to grill you up ribs and all this. And I'm like, and it was last night, I'm like, wait a minute. They're arriving on Friday and they're Catholic. They can't eat ribs, honey.
we having fish fry. Let's go get some food.
So I'm like, maybe they'll get stuck in traffic. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, they've just turned into the greatest friends. And they're like, oh, and by the way, the pontoon's being delivered April 16th. And
Oh,
I mean, yeah, it's just they've come out for several visits and, we talk all the time and they've just been our best friends. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I've got some Stockholm syndrome here.
do they have to be your friends now, but you're never allowed in a park ever again? They're gonna be like, "Hey, let's go to dinner." And you're like, "I'm driving."
I'm driving, yes.
I think I would have had a little bit of a panic attack myself. I'm impressed that you held it together.
Yeah, the worst part for me was I knew we were driving far away. And at the time, I was doing 75 hard, which you have to drink a gallon of water every day. So I'm in the back seat. I took it easy on my water that day. So by the time I finally got into my car, I have to chug half a gallon of water before I even get home just to keep up with my water for the day.
But I'm just sitting here thinking, like, I'm a medium-aged woman. I'd be like, "We got to stop here because I have to find the ladies' room, and you're in a time crunch, and they don't have time to let me stop."
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh,
Yep.
the panic is, like, rising.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of agents that would say one of the benefits of the COVID era in real estate is that people don't ride in cars together anymore, but I always liked it because I got to know my people, but it was me at the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Might be my control issues, but also might be stories like this. All right, so Lisa, if somebody wants to reach out to you and find out about the Kingsport, Tri-Cities area of Tennessee, if they want to find out about Southwest Virginia, what's the best way for them to find you?
I'm on Facebook at Lisa Scott hyphen Realtor, or you can find me Instagram. I'm usually there, realtor.lisascott. That's where my husband and we always love to interact with Miss Leigh.
Oh, we talk on the messages. And
Yes.
actually, your husband had said something about you showing up on my show this week. For some reason, he made a comment. Forgot what it was. What was he commenting
Uh,
about?
he said, don't bring up what you found in your garage with the chickens.
Oh, my snake. She's
Yeah.
beautiful. We love
Oh,
snakes.
no. No,
Snakes
no,
are
no,
good.
no.
Yes, 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 yes. Because a black snake takes care of copperheads. And I would much rather have a black snake, which is harmless, than a copperhead, which is venomous.
Yeah, which we found in our yard last year. So,
Your copperhead?
which,
Aw,
oh, yeah.
kill
And,
it.
and
Kill it.
all the neighbors heard me scream. Yep.
Well, I tell people when they move here from out of state, I'm like, you need a hoe by your back door because that's how you
Hmm.
take care of a copperhead. You just chop its head off. They're like, well, how do I know which one's a copperhead? Pointy head. A good snake has a round head. That's all you got to know. Basic.
Yeah, well,
Basic snake
to me,
information.
none of them are good. So,
Okay, well then, you
yeah.
guys need to get more comfortable with our friends who do good things for us because they're good to have around the house. All right, so all y'all, Lisa's information is in the show notes for this episode. Make sure you give her a follow, give her a reach, and say something nice in the comments. I thank you for coming on the show and giving us a story that's going to make people never ride with a client ever again.
Right? Thank you. I'm so grateful I got a chance to chat with you.
All right, y'all, hit the bell to subscribe. Hit us a comment. We'll see you next time. By the way, friends, don't miss my brand new coaching program at answers.realestate, where you can have access to Leigh Brown, submit your questions, have them answered, meet like-minded professionals, have an entire library to help you build your business no matter what happens in the market. Get signed up today. I promise you'll be glad you did. So, if you found value in this episode, please like and subscribe to this channel, turn on the bell, and catch another amazing episode by clicking above. Crazy Shit in Real Estate is also available on all of your normal podcast apps.
So if that's where you like to hang out, go find me, click subscribe, and most importantly, leave me a review that says you think I'm awesome, my guests are awesome, or this content is just exactly what you were looking for. And then, by the way, if there's something you need, you want to learn about something, you can comment below anytime. You can also send me a direct message if you need to remain anonymous. No judgment. But anyway, I'll only judge if you forget to subscribe and click. I'll see you next time.